Hmm. So we discussed about what is cloud computing and what are the advantages of cloud computing. So in the cloud, there is a mainly three types of cloud models: public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud. What is the public cloud? The public cloud is like the cloud service provider. Public cloud is a cloud service provider managing their entire infrastructure. Okay, entire infrastructure, the data center, cloud service provider managing both capital and operating expenditure. Means they're maintaining this underlying infrastructure. We are accessing the cloud services from the public cloud. Just we are utilizing their services and we are paying for what services we are using. So we don't need to worry about underlying infrastructure, managing of infrastructure. Okay. So the cloud service provider will manage. Example, AWS, Azure, or GCP, OCI, all these things are a public cloud service providers. Public cloud service provider, they're managing the underlying infrastructure, applications and data, storages, network, but just we are utilizing their services. That is public cloud service provider. The people can be like organizations or individual users can take the service from the public cloud. Services offered over public internet and available to everyone who wants to purchase them. Cloud resources such as server storages and owned and operated by third-party cloud service provider and deliver over the internet. Okay. Example of public cloud service providers are AWS, Azure, GCP, OCI, and so many other public cloud service providers. You can also type like this: service providers. Okay. So mainly AWS, Azure, GCP, plus Alibaba, Oracle, and IBM. These are other service providers also there, but we talk about only. This is digital version. These are a small service providers. Okay, next. Private cloud providers. But there is no generally private cloud service providers are separately named. So organizations. So as earlier we discussed, on-premises data centers. On-premises data center means you are owning your own infrastructure and you are deploying your applications and you're running your services and you're storing your data in your own data centers only. Okay, that is simply say a private cloud. That's simply a private cloud. The private cloud means organizations maintain their own infrastructure. Okay, so for example, this is my organization. I have my own infrastructure and managing. I will put my capital expenditure is there, operational expenditure is there. Okay. So upfront cost is there. Means I am paying for infrastructure and maintaining my infrastructure. Okay, for my organization purpose only. So my infrastructure, I purchase it and maintaining it, and for my organization applications purpose, or for my client applications I'm running in my infrastructure. Like that, I have my own data center running in my organizations. Okay, I put my capital expenditure, operational expenditures. That is a private cloud consists of computing resources used exclusively by user from one business or organization. A private cloud can be physically located at your organization on-site, on-premises data center. It can be hosted by third-party service provider. Another point is hybrid cloud. This is public cloud. This entire infrastructure managed by public cloud service provider. Okay, and customers or users utilize this infrastructure and access that infrastructure based on the utilization they will pay as you go. But private cloud service provider means they're not providers that simply say they have their own infrastructure for their organizational use purpose. Then what is this hybrid cloud? This private cloud people, in case in the future, maybe they need some services, some additional infrastructure requirement is there, or maybe certain applications requirement is there. Okay, so they want to need more infrastructure requirement or separate application requirement to run. So they decide either they want to run on their infrastructure or they will combine with the public cloud. Means they use public cloud resources and their infrastructure resources. So they can decide where to run their applications or services, either on the public cloud and private cloud, or some in the running in their private cloud, some are running in the public cloud. This is hybrid cloud. So in a hybrid cloud, private cloud service, it's a combination of public, private private cloud service providers decide where to run their applications. Compliance management, security management will be managed by private cloud providers only. As an example, I said earlier, I have a database server is there, but I need a ETL services. In my infrastructure right now, I can't run any ETL kind of services. Then I will go to the cloud, AWS Glue or Azure Data Factory. Small example, Azure Data Factory. Okay, Azure Data Factory. It's one kind of ETL type only. So using any cloud service provider for ETL purpose, I will connect to different databases, data, transform the data, store into my on-premises storage, my on-premises storage or databases, data warehouses. So I can use both cloud and as well as on-premises here. Not only this, a lot of other services, database services or storage services, network-based services, application services, like lot of things. So I have to quickly launch a new web applications. I do not have infrastructure to create one more server for that one. Simply I will go to the cloud. But that service need a data or need some storage and from my, which is in my currently in my physical data center. So we'll combine both the things. Okay. This is called a hybrid cloud, combination of private and public cloud. A hybrid cloud is computing environment that combines public and private cloud by allowing data application to be shared between them. So these are the comparisons. In public cloud, no capital expenditure to scale up. No need to pay, means no need to buy any infrastructure here. As much you want, you can able to use it. Applications can be quickly provisioned and deprovisioned. So you want to run your application, a web application or mail application or certain services you want to run or you want to use, simply you can start connected to the cloud and you can deploy your application, you run your application, you are working on it, right? And if you do not want, you can remove it. For example, AWS Amplify, a simple web services, static web services are there. So you need a web server, simply go and go to Amplify and started upload your static web files and you created a web page, right? So web deployment is done within a very less time. Okay. Organizations pay only for what they use. Organizations pay only what services you are using, how much storage you are utilizing, how much computing power you are utilizing. Okay, that much based on that you are paying it. So no capital expenditure, no operating expenditures, and you can deploy your application as quickly as possible, and you can deprovision it. We can remove it from cloud also. Okay, you can take any services and use it and pay for it. And how much you are utilizing, that much you are paying it. That's a public cloud. Then what is a private cloud? Hardware must be purchased for startup and maintenance. Hardware must be purchased for startup and maintenance. So in a private cloud, you should have your own infrastructure, right? So you have to buy this one. Means there is a capital expenditure. Organization have complete control over the resources and security. Of course, you are owning your own data center, how to use it, how much you can utilize it. Okay, that is depends upon your organization only. Who are able to connect, who are should not be connected. Entire security also here in your hand only. Organizations are responsible for hardware, maintenance, and update. So you are also doing maintenance. Hardware maintenance means your infrastructure maintenance, operational cost is there. Okay, means updates and maintenance cut. Hybrid cloud provide most flexibility. Organizations determine where to run their application. So I am an organization. This is organization private cloud. I can determine where to run my application, either on my private cloud or in a public cloud. Organization controls security, compliance, and legal requirements on it. Okay, so that is hybrid cloud. Okay, guys, understand cloud models and their differences. Hmm? Cloud models and their differences. Comparisons. Any questions? Okay. Cloud service models. Service models. So in a cloud, so there is a different service models are there. Infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a services. To understand it, so simple to understand this picture. You have your own data center or maybe your private cloud. So you have your own data center. It meaning is you have your hardware, means network is there, storage is there, your hardware, your servers and virtualization platforms. So these are all your infrastructure. On top of it, in on-premises data center, you are maintaining that operating system, virtual machines, runtime environments, applications, and data and resources. Just I want to show you something. No, no, no. It is asking the password again. Okay. So this is my remote machine. This is my remote. I want to run some applications and then access it. For example, it's still running. Right? So how to buy? Computing hardware is required, software is required on it, networking, storages. Okay. For example, so instead of this, I'm trying so different kind of stuff. It means, so in an on-premises data centers. Okay. The first example is I want to set up a application server like a Oracle database server. Oracle database. So what I have to do? So then I have to purchase one server, or maybe I have to create a virtual machine in my virtualization environment, or maybe I have to create one server, install the operating system supported for this Oracle database application. I have to install the runtime environment, then install the Oracle application, and that their physical network connectivity and storage connectivity, everything I have to maintain. Okay, this is on-premises data center. So I have to maintain entire infrastructure, network, storage, and these machines, either virtual machine or physical machines, their operating system and their licenses. Okay, and then what is this? Their runtime environment, installing of application and access, application access kind of stuff. This entirely physically I am maintaining. So even I purchase the hardware, means physical, capital expenditure, operational expenditure, and remaining things also are maintained. But important is infrastructure as a services. What is this infrastructure as a services? Infrastructure as a services means in a cloud we know cloud service provider maintain underlying infrastructure, means the physical systems, physical servers, the compute powers, storages, network. These all will be maintained by your cloud service provider. In infrastructure as a services, simple, same example I'm taking. Okay, same example I'm taking. Or I can take one more, two, three example. We'll try to understand which one you are getting. We'll see that one. Okay, so here, cloud service provider provide a EC2 instance. In AWS, it is EC2 instance. In Azure, Azure virtual machines. So anyway, it is a virtual machine. So I should know how to create a virtual machine. To run this application and operating system, I should know how much physical RAM CPUs are required. For example, I need a 2 CPUs, 4 GB RAM is required, a 50 GB storage is required, for example. So I create a virtual machine, then with a specific operating system, and I have to install that runtime, and then I install the application. Okay, and I have to provide access kind of stuff. So all these things means I have to maintain the machine. I should know the required hardware requirements. So then based on the requirements, I have to create this machine and with a specific OS, then install the runtime environment to run this application on this OS and install the application and provide a data and connectivity to the users. This is infrastructure as a service. I am doing all this part, but I don't need to worry about physical machines, their network, their storages. I don't need to worry about it. Next, platform as a service. As said example guys earlier, you don't require to worry about anything related like what is the computing power requirement, storage, underlying physical storages, physical CPUs or physical machines and their network. You don't need to worry about. In platform as a services, you no need to worry about this hardware, means how many CPUs are required, okay, how much RAM is required, how much storage is required, what voice is required, what runtime is required. You don't require to know all this kind of stuff. You don't require anything like this. What voice, what is the runtime? You don't require. Simply, you'll go to the services like RDS and go to the Oracle service. Okay, go to the Oracle service. Okay, in RDS, go to Oracle and create an instance. Means what is the required hardware? It will be created automatically. This instance create some hardware. So it utilize a certain hardware, network, OS, everything is runs. But we no need to know, not required to know how to create a virtual machine, how to install the OS, or how to install the runtime. You don't require. Simply you go to the application service, RDS services, select a Oracle, and say create instance and specify the instance name, database name, username, password. Then provide their data and access. Means you should know how to deploy this application. Means how to the terminology is related like a creating Oracle instance, database, user, pass. That is you should know. Okay, how to access kind of stuff. And finally, you will access it from the service. And software as a service. Think like this. It's already database is running. Just you need to just connect it and use it. So what is this running on what kind of platform, what application, what operating system, how much hardware background, okay? What is the database instances? We no need to worry. Just connect it and use it. That is called a software as a services. And remaining everything will maintained by so your cloud service provider. You can take different applications. Okay. So I want a um, web email services, email services, or maybe a web services, as a web application services, web application services. In on-premises, again, you have to take a machine, you have to install the their operating system, their runtime environment, install the mail application related, you have to install it and configure it and provide a service. Same, you take one machine and install the web related operating system, application, runtime environments, and website settings, and provide an access. Web application you have to create. So you need a Linux environment, OS is required. Okay, install the Tomcat or other application servers and deploy your application here and provide a service. Okay. In infrastructure as service, you don't need to purchase any hardware, okay, any operating system, any storages, network, not required. Simply create a virtual machine. We specified what hardware requirements and we install that Tomcat or runtime environments, install that application and provide a service. Means provide a connectivity, data and access. In platform as a services. For example, you take EBS, Elastic Beanstalk. You can deploy your application directly on the premises. You have to select to run your web application. What are the requirements? You have to just specify. Just you need a Tomcat server and you need a PHP backend or you need something like a database services are required. So you have to specify to run what environment run for your application. You have to specify those services. Okay, and deploy your application, provide data and access to others. And you need to know how to install the virtual machine, how to install OS, how to run this runtime environments. Not required. Same software as a service. Directly it is deployed. Means a web application is directly readily available. Just you have to connect it and use it. You don't need to deploy anything. Example, Shopify. Shopify. Shopify, you can, if you want to launch a e-commerce website. No need to design the website also. It's readily available. Just click it, put your names, your email ID, your contact, your services, deploy, you got your e-commerce site automatically. Shopify, example, best example. Okay. So we'll see other comparisons and see infrastructure as a service. Organizations maintain storage, network, compute. So we should know like how to create a virtual machine, how to manage that operating system, how to install the runtime, how to install that related applications and data and access. Okay. So it depends your customization requirements. Next, platform as a services. Certain services directly platform as a services. One is database services. Another one is application related services. Means app services or EBS, Elastic Beanstalks. Okay. Application services, Lambda services. These are all platform as a services. Means you don't need to know how to create a virtual machine, OS, runtime environment. Just deploy your application, then started using your application itself. But you should know how to, what is an application, how to maintain the applications, right? Compulsory we should know it. Okay. Next, software as a services. You don't require what is this application, how it is works. Okay, what is that runtime environment, what OS it is running, no need. Simple, we connect it and use it. That is a software as a services. Yeah, you just read it, guys. That's I give an explanation. You guys are read it. What are those things? Okay. So examples of software as a services. Software as a service is generally subscription models, guys. Not a pay-as-you-go models. So mostly it is subscription models. Examples of software as services. Office 365 or Microsoft 365. We are using Google Docs, software as a services. Salesforce. Dynamic CRM, physically deployed application. Dynamics 365, directly available. I don't need to install any application. Go to Dynamics 365, log in, create your organization's related information, give your organization information. The environment is readily available. Okay. Google Docs. I no need to install any documents, means Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, not required. Office 365. So I don't require to install Microsoft Office also. I can run and access all my documents from browser. Simple. Okay. ServiceNow. ServiceNow is one of the leading ITL tool or a service desk tool or a service desk tool. ServiceNow. GLPI. No, GLPI on premises is there, cloud is also there. Voice ticket. Voice ticket is also both cloud is there as well as on premises we can able to deploy. Okay. So example, this is one good example. Voice ticket. Cloud hosted. Self-hosted. What is the difference between self-hosted and cloud hosted? So self-hosted is a open source. Okay. So so I have to install. First, I have to create a machine. So I have to install OS in the machine. Then in that one, I have to install that runtime environment. For example, this application runs on PHP. So I have to install the PHP backend database MySQL. I have to install it. Then I have to install this application and configure it and provide an access to the people. So this is how to maintain physical infrastructure, application, their runtime environments, everything. On premises, cloud hosted. It's a software as a service. You don't need to install, you don't need to maintain anything backend like a runtime environment operating system. You don't need to worry anything. Just connect it, create a login. Okay, first sign up, login, create your organization. Okay, your client's information means your customer information, your service desk agents, I mean system administrator, network administrator, about their names, their roles, kind of stuff. Every configuration we will do it. Just we need doing an application. Similarly, ServiceNow. ServiceNow developer. What ServiceNow developer will do it? Already ServiceNow application is deployed, running in their ServiceNow data centers. Just we are connecting to their applications. We are creating for we are configuring for our organization. What is the knowledge bases? Who are the customers? Who are the users? Who are the agents? What is their roles? Who are can able to access? Who is the administrator access? Only ticket based accesses. Okay. What is other things like uh, asset management related? What are your assets? So everything as per your organization required, you have to configure it. Okay. So you need to know what is the runtime environment to configure. So this is my OS ticket. So I created a machine, install the OS, install that application, and I'm running it. But in a on-premises means cloud, I don't need to know anything related to the machine. That's a simple understanding. Okay. Platform as a services. Generally, cloud service providers provide a database services. Here you should know how to create the database, how to run that instances, connectivities, everything you have to manage. Okay. And you're running different application from application to database connectivity. That is a thing. But you no need to install anything. Just you're running it. Okay. Elastic Beanstalk means it's an environment to deploy your applications. Mainly, like as I said, same OS ticket. I want to deploy separately in a cloud environment. I don't want to take cloud hosted services, but I cannot install into my servers also. I do not have a server, or maybe I do not want to install on my servers. So I want to deploy this application where voice ticket application on a cloud. So I go to AWS, go to EBS to deploy this application. What environment is required? Then I will select that one. We need PHP. We need MySQL. We need a Apache HTTPD. So for a encryption HTTPS purpose, so then we will take a security certification, CA services. I select those things, environment is created, then I deploy an application. So I don't require to know what virtual machine, how to maintain this environment. Just select that environment, then the environment is ready, then deploy that application. Similarly, from Azure App Services. Okay. Infrastructure services, mainly virtual machines, EC2 instances, Azure virtual machines, okay, Elastic Block Storages, that storage services, Azure Blob, AWS S3 buckets, these are all storage services. Personal cloud storage services. What are personal cloud services? OneDrive, Google Drive, iCloud means iPhone, iCloud. These are the personal cloud storages, guys. So there is a difference between cloud storage and personal cloud storages. For cloud storage, for example, you want to store data into AWS S3 bucket. You can't take that only that service. You must have a Amazon login. Amazon AWS login is required. In Amazon AWS, there are a lot of services are there. One of the services cloud service, storage service, S3 services or block storage services. In that one, you have to store that data. Means you are buying all the services along with the storage services. Whether you use or not use other services, but you are using storage. So along with all the services, storage services, one of it for these cloud service providers. But personal cloud storage, only that personal cloud you will take. For example, you have a 30-40 GB data is there. You want to store into Google Drive. Go to Google Drive, purchase more space in the Google Drive, then store your data as per your requirement. Okay, generally free 15 GB, you got it. You got a 30-40 GB, then according to that storage limit, you can store it. Okay, you can buy it for like a 30 GB, 100 GB, 150 GB, 300 GB also. OneDrive is a Microsoft is providing OneDrive. Okay, so as much storage you want it, you can take it. That's a personal storage. Some people, even we told everything. So at the time of interview, they will say, sir, cloud means storage. What is cloud computing? They simply say it is a storage. No, guys, storage is a one of the service from the cloud, along with other services, including networking services, server-related services, application services, software intelligence, and analytical-related services, lot of services from the cloud. Different cloud service providers. Okay, AWS, Azure, GCP. This is the main three cloud service provider, IBM, Oracle, DigitalOcean, and some other cloud service providers also there. To build your own private cloud, you need a something like a virtualization platforms from VMware, vSphere, from Microsoft, Hyper-V, from Citrix, Xen servers. These are virtualization platforms to create and run the virtual machines on it. Okay, but to maintain these virtualization servers centrally from VMware, we need a vCenter, or you can take it from Microsoft VSCVMM for centralized management of Hyper-V virtualization servers. One by one server, we can't connect it, but we need a centralized connectivity. Okay, or you want to connect. That is again the centralized management purpose, vCenters or SCVMMs. But in a private cloud, so private cloud means in cloud means just you're accessing through internet, you're accessing through network. Directly you're accessing. You don't need to worry about what virtual machine or what is underlying physical requirement, underlying storage management. The user don't require to worry about it. Simply user what you want. You need a virtual machine. Click on virtual machine, create an instance, how much CPU, RAM, storage required. Select it, click OK. What OS is required, select it, click OK. Machine is deployed somewhere in the data center, somewhere in that virtualization platform. You are accessing. We don't need to worry about where it is running or where, okay, what storage space it is occupying. We don't want. We need a simple interface to connect and create and run our requirements, infrastructure requirement or platform requirement or software requirement. Just we need an interface. Through that one, just log in and create your resources and use your resources. This is what cloud computing. It is using for your organization purpose only, private cloud. If it is using for other organizations also means it's a public cloud. Only for your organization is private cloud. For almost anybody can able to access is a public cloud. Yes, some people mistakenly also taken. Public cloud means free. No, public cloud is not meant for free. A public cloud does not mean free. Of course, for a few days, they will give you free. For up to certain limited resources, they will give you free for a few days. Later, they will charge you. Okay, remember that point. Okay, so but private cloud, it means it's for their organization purpose only. So some people believe private cloud means you have to pay, public cloud means it's a free. No. Okay, private cloud, you can't take it because that's someone's organization's private cloud. Okay, it's not our organization. You can directly go and purchase something. It's not there. Of course, if you want to run your resources on it in the private cloud, you can also try from the organizations. Okay, so an organization maintain their data centers only their client's purpose. They are providing services or their organization purpose. There's a limited access. Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. I given one example. Yeah, one point, and I will go to the one story. OpenStack is a public cloud. Sorry, it's a private cloud platform. It's open source, so anybody can. If you have your own infrastructure, and you want to connect your infrastructure, you want to get connected to your infrastructure, virtualization platform, your storage and network to, from by the users. They can able to connect it. They utilize your resources. They create virtual machine and they store the kind of stuff. So you can just simply install a OpenStack in a machine and connect all your infrastructure through OpenStack. So user can access this infrastructure through OpenStack. Okay. Yeah. There's one discussion happens in so many years back when I was working in different organizations. So there is same kind of concept came, public and private cloud. People thought public means free, private means paid. I said that it's no, that's a concept is completely different. Public means you can take cloud services. I can take a cloud services from public cloud service. Scientists can also take a services from public cloud service. Means any individual user, some organization provide individual user wise, some organization provide only for organization purpose. Only organization can take the cloud service provider, even it is a public cloud. Some service provider like AWS, Azure, we are able to log in and use the services. This is public cloud service provider, right? Uh, as an example, you know the shopping malls, big shopping malls. Okay, in Hyderabad we have a lot of shopping malls. Like nowadays, most of the cities having different, even not a cities, even small towns itself having a shopping malls now. Simple. Someone build that one, construct a shopping mall, big mall. In that one, in a top floors, having movie theaters, and next food items, and next some kind of stuff like a Max, FBB, or FBB is not there now. So like a Max or any other things, Zudio, like Western West side, like there's a lot of shops are there, clothes showrooms, but so many Centro, like different shops they can rent by the rent. So they will people will take it. These shops, the space they will doing it. The entire building maintained by the building person. Building maintenance is separate. They give and rent to the others. So the people utilize their space and pay for what they are utilizing. Maintenance, entire line infrastructure maintenance, car parking, washrooms, everything maintained by building people. How they are getting your money? From the people who are purchasing or means renting the space. The spa or all these things. So take a space, utilizing space and that. So they got a business from direct business. That. Okay. That is like a public cloud. So company build their infrastructure giving to the people or organizations so they can people can use it. Organizations use their resources of the cloud and how much they are utilizing, they are paying. Right, sir? Public cloud example. Private cloud, it is a single tenant type. Public cloud is a multi-tenant type. Private cloud is a single tenant type. It means own organization. For example, we have a different clothes showrooms also there. Entire building. They build one entire building entirely their own shop related. They will maintain the building and they construct the building, they maintain the building. People, okay, they're selling their products. Their people are working there. So they will get a money from their business. But of course, not in India. So normally this McDonald's in other countries, what they will do is generally they buy a land and they construct their McDonald's shops here. Okay, and only their McDonald's allowed inside. Only their things. Now in India, generally it's the side by side. One is KFC, one is McD, another is other kind of stuff. Universal Burger, like some other things. Burger Kings. Okay, so there are renting a shops. They're purchasing. Okay. Like you can see some places, DMart, they purchase huge land, and even you can see Metro, okay, Walmarts, they purchase a land and they build their buildings and they're selling products. Okay, so like a private land. So we have our own infrastructure, we have our applications running in this infrastructure. Okay, for our client purpose or for organizational use purpose. These are different domains. Compute domain, you can go to anything. I want to give you a quick review, but I am doing full length. So click on the products, see, different domain, compute domain. What are comes under compute domain? Okay, container services, Beanstack, Kubernetes, EC2 instances, Lambda services, database domain, Aurora, RDS services, means Oracle, MySQL, like that services, PostgreSQL services, DynamoDB, NoSQL type of services. Aurora is also database services, Elastic Cache services. Security and identity services. Okay. Role-based accesses, user accesses, authentication, key-based authentication, connecting one service to another service using key type connectivity services, firewall services. Okay. Content delivery services. Okay. Managing DNS records type. Okay. DNS service records, VPCs, cloud front services, transit gateways, elastic load balancing services, API gates, VPN services. Okay. Storage services, S3 buckets, elastic block storages, el- elastic EFS services, that backup services, like different type of analytical related services. Glue, SageMaker, Redshift, Athena, like this. EMR. EMR is a combination of multiple services for data engineering related services. AI-based services. These are the different domains in AWS. You can same thing, you can go to the Azure. Simple, go to Azure portal, click on the products. Explore products, solutions. I select this 200 plus services. See, compute services. Okay, app services, virtual machine, batch services, VMware, Linux virtual machine, static website services, virtual machine services, Windows Server services, virtual desktop services, like that. Compute services. Okay, database services, Cosmos DB. There is a DynamoDB. This is Cosmos DB. Oracle, Azure SQL services, and other database services also there. DevOps services, security services, uh, application gateways, app configuration services, Defender on the cloud, DOS protections, network services, application gateways, Azure DNS services, Azure firewall services, content delivery and network services, Azure root server services, web application firewall services, storage services, blob storage, okay, data lake storages, Azure file services, blob storages, storage actions, backup storages, archive storages, direct web services it is. Okay. Analytical services, okay, data explorer, data factories, data share, data breaks, okay, like this, different categories. Identity, one more identity, Entra ID services, Azure AD. Azure AD is now completely replaced by Entra ID. Okay, formerly Azure AD services. Key-based authentication, API connectivity services. So different type of services are coming. You can go to different sites and find out what are those things. These are the things about your cloud computing, guys. And from here, I given some questions. Okay, very simple question only. Which of the following is not the cloud computing category? See, software as a service, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, network as a services. These three things confirmly we know that is cloud computing category. We didn't hear this one, so it is a answer. It's not cloud computing, means this is an answer. Not. Which of the following statement is true? True. Operating expenditure. So you are responsible for purchasing. Purchasing is not a operating, it's a capital. You are responsible for computing resources that you use. Another one is capital expenditure. You are responsible for computing resources that use. Means you are using means it's operation. Purchasing is capital. So this is the right answer. Which of the following is not a type of cloud computing? Public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud. These three are a cloud computing model. Distributed cloud is not that one. Okay, distributed cloud is not the cloud computing. Cloud computing. Which of the following is not a benefit, not benefit of? Geographical isolation is not a benefit. Scalability is advantage of cloud. Disaster recovery, another advantage of cloud. High availability is advantage of cloud. Geographical distribution is advantage, not isolation. Not in one place. It's a distribution across multiple places. There is summary as well as some points. I keep it like this. You can try and read it from here. Actually, today's planning is I want to go with a cloud with a simple line by line only, but I done full explanation. Okay, so otherwise we can complete multiple topics. Office 365 and ITL. So both I want to tell today, but I'm not able to. We'll see tomorrow if any possible. Guys, meanwhile, everyone listen. Meanwhile, again, go through all the previous batch questions. Ask your sir what are the previous questions. Okay, if any new batches attend the technical questions, please get that questions also. I didn't have any recent batches interview questions, technical interview questions. So gather that questions also and check the entire our topics. What are the topics we discuss? Revise it, mainly the networking, hardware, and other things also, Outlook, VPN, everything. Revise it. If you have any doubt on any particular topic, please ask me. I will explain it once again, if possible. Otherwise, I will give you at least some information regarding. If any question regarding hardware troubleshooting network questions, please confirm it. Okay, this is your duty, guys. It's not my duty. Okay, you have to do your main work. This is your interview. This is your class. Okay, please do that one. Again, I'm stopping here. If possible, we'll meet you tomorrow and we will discuss